All right, y'all. Welcome back to Skeptiphobia with Brand the Skeptic, where we question everything, where we look at everything that's going on and wonder why, right? So, today, November 14th, 10 days after the election, we have the Maga March, where a million or a few hundred thousand, several hundred thousand, probably a million, it's going to be underreported, the numbers, no matter what the actual numbers are. They don't want you to know how many people are actually there. I kind of want to explain for those who may not know what it's all about and about the reason for it. So, obviously, it's 10 days after my last video, November 4th, shenanigans. Um, and in that video, I talked about the spike overnight and no counting at like 4 in the morning. Then they started counting when everybody was sleeping. And I talked about poll watchers not being able to get close and watch. Uh, they had to stay 30 feet away, but I'm hearing that you're supposed to have someone on one team look at it and someone on the other team look at it. And then they both check it off and it gets counted properly. So, but everybody's saying, "Oh, I wasn't allowed in. I'm 30 feet away. These people are scanned multiple times. Everything's sure." One dude threw out 100 ballots that still should be looked into, but everybody's saying it's not happening. Big tech and people on the blue team saying, "Don't look at it. Don't worry about." People burn stuff in videos, and everybody's taking videos, even though they shouldn't. But it's I think you can record if it's to expose a crime. So if you're exposing a crime, a felony, which is ballot tampering, I would assume that's applicable in that situation. So more of an explanation. Man. So there's a clip from 2004 where this dude is exposing that he was a programmer who worked on a software that would change any vote to what you wanted, to a 49-51% margin. Wish it was Ohio. I can't. Wish I could remember what state. But it's 2004, and this dude was on trial, and he admitted that he could get the vote that you wanted, the outcome, and that was 2004. And right now, everybody's saying that this Dominion and Hammer, can't say these because you'll get caught, and you're not supposed to be spreading this misinformation. But we're here to talk about the topics at hand. So there's something else called Scorecard, another type of software that was in there, and these are all questions that get raised, and everybody on the red team has been called racist and discredited. You're cis white gender. You're all these things. You're terrible for just being what you are, or what I project you to be. You're a terrible person. And then there's all the rallies that built up to the election. That there was massive turnout for Trump and Biden. He barely ran. He would call a lid on his campaign for the day. He would have small turnouts with the people in the circles, maybe like 8 to 15 people there, and like there are questions, and when big tech oligarchies, when the big tech monopolies say this is wrong, this is fake, we're here to ask why. Why are you saying? Why are you supporting this dude saying, yeah, he's the thing? But okay, so Joe Biden won the election, is what the news is telling everybody. And the news uh, traditionally would announce the winner, and then the opponent would concede. But now with social media, we all have an instant, We have an instant way to communicate with everybody, and information will get out. So even now, there are there are legal proceedings where people are coming out and they are signing affidavits. They're being witnesses. They're saying that they were privy to experiences of voter irregularities, where yeah, oh man, this guy brought in some. We brought in some coolers at 4 in the morning when nobody was around. Yeah, yeah, it's sandwiches and water, but hey, it could be sandwiches and water. Occam's razor. Uh, so we've all seen the videos of the people filling out something from a distance. We've all seen the boarded up windows in Michigan. We can attest individually that there are things to be questioned, but when the news on one side and the arbiters of truth, Facebook and Twitter, tell you that it's not happening at all, 0%, and then 100% increase overnight for one candidate, and it's a slow, steady, and Dominion software can take the input of the votes and it would know how much to increase the percentage by. These are all the claims. And to get it to a 51-49% margin to where it's so close that it could be the winner. But when you look at Biden, president, like it still says projected winner. And right now, the arguments Trump is making, are making, is that the senator, no, Secretary of State in Pennsylvania tried to make it. She tried to extend the deadline for mail-in voting, and she didn't have the authority to do that. And poll watchers weren't allowed to get in certain distances, and they weren't allowed to watch the votes. Those are Trump's arguments, and that's why he. It's weird. It's a war of words, semantics, fraud, and irregularities. You have to say these to more define what you're trying to get across. Yeah, Neuralink, Elon. We'll just beam our thoughts to each other. It'll be. No, I'm kidding, but through the 4 years of the Trump presidency, there's just been one side versus the other. Each side thinks they're right, right? They think we're all the heroes of our own story, and we're fighting in the ways that we think we can affect change, right? But I think the power of the individual is more powerful than the power of the mob. But the communists, they're afraid of being an individual, to accept the failures and the possibility of personal growth. They think that I think they're communists because student debt and can't file bankruptcy, and how you supposed to make any money and progress, and they say they're for the proletariat and the people, the working class, but they don't know those people, right? They're afraid to overcome themselves and their failures and accept their flaws. They give themselves to the collective and the collective morals, and I stand behind something that you must be kind, but man, boy, are they not being kind today at this Million MAGA March. So at this Million MAGA March, it was scheduled, and eventually Infowars, they started to make a caravan from Texas through Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Virginia, and they drove collecting cars along the way. Alex Jones joined them today, November 4th, for the Million MAGA March, and Brendan Straka and from Walk Away, where he gets the Dems to see how condensed the left is getting, and everything right of it is wrong. So there's Nick J. Fuentes. He's saying some cool stuff, but he's controversial, and sometimes he's funny, you know. So there are many groups of Proud Boys, at many groups going down to DC, right? And it becomes this massive thing. Trains of cars and trucks with flags, and everybody's there to support the president because the election could be stolen, because there are these questions, and there are these questions to even address, even just look about you being told it was stolen 4 years ago by the Russians, and now this year it can't. There's no shenanigans, none. Cut it off. Don't even look, man. Nah, accept your loss, bro. Nah, China ain't interfere. Nah, bro. Nah, you can't do that. You can't project onto a side and then expect them not to go back in turn. We're fighting fire with fire. Where you everybody's adopting the tactics of the other side. All these groups, all these Patriot, American, Alex Jones, Infowars, Walk Away, America First, Alex Jones, and Owen Schroyer, and now Antifa, and it's Antifa was being held back by the cops up until like the massive crowd was starting to disperse. Well, everybody has to go. We can't stand out there all day and night. There's a lot of people, so the crowd started to disperse, and Antifa started picking off the stragglers, old, elderly, people, families with children. Doesn't matter the age or the color of anybody. If you got the red, blue, you got the Trump pants, you got the red hat, we're coming after you. We're running you out. We don't think you should be here. And it's become two sides of the coin. You get to see both sides within. It's. I said in a tweet earlier. It's one day, one location, two sides, and you get to see the tactics of both sides. One, all day long, there was minor scuffles because mob mentality, of course, and man, I've seen a couple scuffles during the day, but nothing like what happened after the sun started setting, and Antifa started, and Black Lives Matter, and I say there's provocateurs and people in there who stir it up, who trigger the mob mentality, like Riley throwing the chair in the Boondocks. You can you can control the mob. You can direct it just a little. Just if you're fully blacked out and you got the guy with the umbrella blocking the cameras. There are people in here in these groups that probably aren't part of the groups, that probably are defectors or FBI agents or CIA or provocateurs to start an altercation. I highly think that's possible. As the sun started setting, the fires started. Antifa started to burn the location, the Freedom Plaza. I think they call it Black Lives Matter Plaza. I'm not 100% clear if those are the same places, but they started burning anything Trump related that they could get their hands off that they might have stolen. I've seen plenty of Antifa people just stealing flags and taking property and assaulting people, and it's not stopping. The night is young. As I'm starting this video, I was gonna start this video about how there's a million Maga march and the reasons for it and the reasons for the questions, and I was just gonna explain that a little bit. But then night fell at like 4. No, I'm kidding. Like 5 ish, 6. So it's gonna be a long night of fires and fighting and disruption. There Antifa people throwing fireworks at restaurants with Trump supporters who are wrapping up the night. People who are going to their cars, getting punched in the head, and everybody's wearing masks. You can just run back into the crowd. When you go and wear your stuff, and you go out and you're on camera, you wear your side, you wear the projection of your side. Here's evidence of these people wearing these things, doing these things. So you're used as the example for that side. When the news will walk up to like a redneck or a toothless guy with a Confederate flag instead of like this whole crowd of other people with diversity, and we get him to say the weirdest thing. We'll be recording all day long. We'll get like 12 people to say something, but we're gonna pick this guy out and use him as the face. Like, or we're gonna get the Black Lives Matter guy that punched somebody in the back of the head, or that's the face of the side. That's a projection. That I said today. You are the last thing you did on Twitter, or you put on Twitter, and that's what you remember for the one that catches fire. So this side is doing these things. This side is doing these things, and that's your labels now, right? So all day long, the red team was peacefully standing, singing national anthem, U.S. chanting USA, and they was a prayer. There was all that, and then night fell, and there were fires and fighting and assaults, and you get to see it all at night. But there's gonna be media flip and spin and censorship tomorrow, I bet, and it's just gonna, each side is now emboldened further in their ideas that I've won and this we're building up, it's boiling up when we're LARP, man. They had shields and they were getting punched up in a two-piece combo, and it's just been boiling up, and everybody just, I'm sure each person on each side just wants to get their hand on it. Some just, I want to get. Oh, they've been calling me this. Oh, I've been. We're finally here. I've seen. I've seen the police separate both groups, and they're just. Ah, I'll get you. No, I'll get you. You coward. No, you. But like tribalism and projected enemies and comfortable lives would look for problems and look for enemies, and social media fractures everybody, just breaks the mirror, and now you're all just split into all your little conclaves of ideas, and these ones over here are opposing, and oh, I can my world is the utopia, and one of those sides isn't good. One of those sides, I don't like that idea of their utopia. God, communism's never worked. Oh, he said it. But there's gonna be news spin tomorrow, so I look forward to that. So the reason Trump can still fight, the reason people are still in the streets, because the election is not over. It still says Biden is projected winner. It still says that he's ahead in these states, and then there's the recounts, and then there's the lawsuits, and then there's still a legal path to victory. It was described as a triple lightning strike. He has to hit all three of these spots and win to get the presidency. But Biden's a projected winner because these states are ahead, projected 99%. Why does it take 10 times as long to count 1% of the ballots when election night you could count 90% of them in a day? Oh, the mail-in ballot. I don't know. But there are these questions, and that's why people are so strong in their beliefs. And there are December deadlines. The states have to finish their counts, certify their votes, I think pick electorates, and they all have to do that before December 8th. And I think if it gets to December 14th, it goes to the Supreme Court, and I think the Supreme Court will decide the president. And if Trump was playing this 40 chess back with Brett Kavanaugh, he he knew about this 2 years ago. Knew he'd been planning up to this point for 2 years. So Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett apparently were on George Bush's legal team for winning the 2000 election with Al Gore, where Al Gore was a projected president for 37 days before he conceded the presidency. And yet Trump has yet to concede. So we still have, I think it's been 10 days. We still have 20 more 20 something more days till the December deadlines. And everybody's saying, oh, this is the president and this is the president. I'm telling everybody, January, there's a new president. That's where there's a final decision. Close the book. Well, I don't know. You know, there is no telling what's gonna happen. But Biden's gonna bring more lockdowns. Trump said no lockdowns. Biden said gun buyback. Trump is pro-gun. Now, there's big tech censorship, and then there's the 230 reform, the internet closures. But some people are just like a one issue voter. You vote for the one issue. You vote for pro-life or pro-choice. You vote for gun restrictions, or you vote for gun rights, and that's how fractured it becomes. It becomes one thing that'll make you can do all these good things. Now, one thing that I don't like, I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to. Nah, I'm not into that. So you'll take this whole side and you'll say this is what they're all about, and it just doesn't translate. That was my explanation or reasoning for the Million MAGA March. So, like, there's a path to victory for Trump if the votes don't come in. It actually goes to higher up courts and legislature and things. And he might have been playing this long game this whole time. He might have known. He might have set a trap. And I'm with it. I'm not for all the selling everything to China and buying our stuff from China. COVID showed us that we should be making our medicines here. We should be more self-reliant, and shutdowns would destroy the rest of the economy and small businesses, and Amazon and Target and all these big places. They're record profits, just shooting up, and wow, the people suffer, and the cure can't be worse than the problem. So I wonder which side I'm on, you know. But I hope that helped people who are wondering what's going on, like why there would be a Million MAGA March, or why there would be questions, or why people say Trump doesn't have a path to the presidency. He's trying to steal it, but there's a legal course to take and play the game. Play the game. That was it. That was Skeptiphobia with Brand Skeptic, where we question everything. We look at why, and man, it's getting crazy time. We're in some crazy times. We're actually living in history, a time that will be in books, and a time, unless one side wins, and then we'll burn all the books. But that was it. You can follow me on Twitter and YouTube at Skeptiphobia, Skeptiphobia. Bye.